TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on protecting our planet. My name is Ubong Osora. I'm your host for today, and I'm super excited to have this diverse, passionate group of environmental advocates with us. Today's conversation is crucial. Our environment needs all of us to take action, speak up, and also to lead the change in our various spheres of influence. But before we go into our discussion for today, let's go for a short break.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Okay, so we have amazing people gathered here today. We're supposed to be a panel of 9, but from what I'm seeing, I've seen 7. I think 2 of us are not here at the moment, but hopefully they get to join us before we are done with the conversation. So I'll just do the introductions, and please, if you are around, when I introduce you, you just go ahead and say hi to the house. So we're supposed to have Lovelyn Andrarus. Lovelyn is actually an environmentalist, author, climate justice advocate, and she's from Nigeria. Lovelyn, are you on the call?
Hello, Bon. Yeah, I'm on the call.
We have Dr. Kenneth Akpan, the climate justice lead at Oxfam in Nigeria. Dr. Kane.
Yeah, I'm on the call. Good afternoon.
So we have Merembe Winnie, who's actually a climate action and wash advocate committed to sustainable solutions. And Merembe is actually from Uganda. Merembe, how are you today? How is Uganda?
Oh, yes, I'm glad to be on the call. Uganda is doing well, and we have representatives on already. I see Alfred. Yes, I'm excited for today's discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Dr. Anand Raju, who is actually an environmental scientist with the Ministry of Earth Sciences in India. Dr. Raju, how is India?
Hey, it's very nice. Have a nice day and hi to all.
Thank you so much. We're happy to have you on the call. And the last but not the least is my friend and brother, Joshua Imoko, a creative environmental sustainability advocate and co-founder of EcoCircle Nigeria, currently in Jamaica. Joshua, how is Jamaica today?
Yeah, Jamaica is fine.
Okay, so today's discussion, it's about climate change. It's about protecting our society, protecting our earth, protecting our world, and what God has actually given to us. This is something we didn't buy, but a lot of destruction is happening daily, from pollution to biodiversity loss to climate change, and all of this is actually affecting the earth. And to celebrate this 2025 Earth Day, we decided to bring all of this webinar together and talk about how we can protect our world, how we can protect our earth. So I'd like to start the first question. So the first question, I'll come to you, Dr. Raju. Please, can you share with us how climate change is affecting people in India and what you've been doing, to mitigate the impacts of climate change?
Actually, climate change is drastically increasing due to in recent times. Actually, climate change is increasing due to the open biomass burning or fossil fuel combustion, and which is leads to the carbon emissions into the atmosphere, which is trapping the solar radioactive force and increasing the atmosphere heat. So, due to all these circumstances, We need to improve the renewable energies like solar energy, or we need to switch on to solar energy to reduce the carbon emissions from the fossil fuels. And also, open biomass burning is happening. We need to reduce this open biomass burning to reduce the emissions. Open atmospheric ambient air distracting due to the quality is distracting due to the open biomass burning. So we need to take an alternative measures for these activities.
All right, thank you. I'll come back to you because you said some things like biomass burning, and that's something I would like to take you on, but I'll come back to you. Winnie, let's talk about waste management and recycling, especially plastic waste. In Nigeria, there are some cities that you go to, almost the whole city is taken over by plastic. Joshua, talk to us about recycling and plastic waste in Jamaica.
Yes, Jamaica has a waste recycling plant. There are various, let's say, organizations, some that are set up by the government, and some maybe by private individuals or organizations that recycle the wastes in Jamaica. So far, that I've been here and I have observed, I would say the waste recycling in Jamaica is fair because the population in Jamaica is growing, and so also is the waste. So these organizations responsible for waste recycling are making so much efforts in order to remove the waste from the streets, remove the waste from the cities. So they are making some efforts, and I do recommend them for that.
Okay, so I'll come to you, Dr. Kenneth Akpan. You've been involved with young people. Tell us about the work you are doing with young people around the world, the work you are doing with young people in Abuja, in different states in Nigeria to, combating climate change.
Thank you for this opportunity to talk about what we've been doing around climate change. I represent climate justice team for Oxfam. We are an organization that is fighting poverty and also trying to end poverty around the world. And we also want to deal with the root causes of these causative agents or angles of poverty. We will also know that climate change is one of those, and then we have taken it upon ourselves to see that climate change becomes a forerunner of our engagements, whether directly as a pillar or what we call cross-cutting. So climate change is something that has come to stay. And then we know that fighting climate change is something that is living with us today and also impacting more. So the plans we have today is something that will affect or impact negatively or positively tomorrow. And then again, the owners of tomorrow, I always say, are the youths, are young people. So it is very important they are on the table. It is very important they are carried along. It's very important they know what is going on, because so as to prepare them for their future, which is something we do. So for Nigeria, we have involved in various engagement and activities around youth empowerment. Empowerment in the sense that we believe that knowledge is key for them to even know what climate change is all about, and also build their capacity around resilience, response, and also accountability when it comes to what can they do at their own level to, fight or contribute to, the impact or ameliorating the impact of climate change. So for instance, we have what we call the Climate Justice Youth Ambassador. It's a platform for young Nigerians cut across all spheres of life, which we see as a movement that will bring about youth, engagements, youth narratives. They can tell their own stories the way climate change is to them. Context is very important when you're dealing with climate change. So for us, their understanding, our listening to their own context, their own angle of the story, and with their own knowledge, how they can contribute. We see the youth of Nigerians as a very formidable force making up to over 70% of our population. And so with that number, if they are well guided, if they are on the table, if they are engaged, if they are part of it, if they take ownership of the climate change narratives, I think we'll go a long way to solving the menace of climate change.
Yeah, thank you so much for all of the wonderful work that you are doing. David Aliu, please let's get to understand the work you do in Sierra Leone as the Executive Director of Civil Society Advocacy Network. Let's get to understand the work you're doing. Just give us an highlight of some of the things you're doing.
And what we do, we work with young people and community stakeholders in communities that are degraded. So over the years, we have been in existence since 2014, and over the years, we have been engaging communities in the south and part of the western area and in the eastern region to ensure that we afforest communities that have been degraded with economic trees, varieties of economic trees like cocoa and coffee in some communities, and in the western area, which is the capital city of Freetown, with forest trees and other economic trees. So we have been working with the Freetown City Council to ensure that we reforest some communities in the far eastern part of Freetown, in the mountainous areas that have been degraded. So we have been working since 2020 to date. We have planted series of trees, economic and forest and medicinal trees in communities. Because mind you, this is the capital city. Yeah, the issue of housing is a challenge. So every day, the small forest around the city is being deforested in the need of housing. So what we do, we are now engaging communities to ensure that, because mind you, with the level of deforestation in the city, we cannot stop it at a stop, but what we are doing now is to engage communities to do neighborhood planting. What is neighborhood planting? To ensure that within your communities, even though you have cut down all the trees, but plant some economic trees around your house so that you should have some shade. And also for those that are involved in vegetable gardens, we work with them to ensure that they plant gardening around the streams that are within the city. And also we do engage the media, work with community media houses and some state televisions to raise awareness on climate change issues and issues that are affecting communities in the capital city and some other subnational districts. So over the years, we have been doing this, and we are doing it with partners like the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, the Environment Protection Agency, and the Freetown City Council, and some other councils in the provinces. So over the years, we have been working with young people, but we identify them within their communities. We don't take them from their communities. They work within their communities because it will burden them if we take them out of their communities. So we identify young people within their communities, and they bring out the issues that they want to address in their communities. And as we speak now, currently we are on care and maintenance of trees that we have planted, because we don't just go and plant and leave the trees. We ensure that they grow, because when they grow, we'll be able to account for them. And also we do digital tracking. Digital tracking.
I'll come back to you. Thank you so much. I can feel the passion. I can actually feel the energy of all of the work you're doing. Amazing work. Thank you so much. David Aliu is actually the Executive Director of the Civil Society Advocacy Network in Sierra Leone. I wanted to ask you, let's say the capital of Sierra Leone is Freetown. Are things really free in Freetown? But that's not for this conversation. That's after this conversation. Okay, Mirembe, are you back on the call?
Oh yes, I'm back. My
Okay,
apologies.
so we'd like to see your face. All right, we'd like to see your face. Go ahead, tell us about the work you are doing in Uganda.
My name is Mirembe Winnie, and I'm really passionate about youth advocacy, and I've gotten experience in areas of WASH, water sanitation and hygiene, and then climate action. So earlier I was saying that I'm the secretary of the youth advocacy structure of the Kawa division, that is in Kampala City, and we do a lot of advocacy work.
Our award-winning climate advocates, talk to us.
All right. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I'm Lovin Andraus. I'm a climate advocate and also an environmental activist. So I'm so glad to be here. as the executive director of Kwaji Environmental Education Foundation. I do a lot of work around advocacy as an climate activist. I am one of those people who holds the placard. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. And I'm also an author of an eco-comic book on climate change and environment for young children, titled The Adventures of Zira and Covey. So I champion a lot of activities with young people around climate action and activism. Do a lot of mentorship program for young people in West Africa who have chosen to be climate activists, who are finding their way to navigate through the climate space. So we offer a lot of mentorship program. We also visit schools, universities to create awareness about the impact of climate change in the country here in Nigeria. And I'm also, like I said, an advocate for climate justice. So I partner and work with a lot of young people globally to work around demanding and holding global leaders accountable for climate change and also actions. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so I'll come back to you, Dr. Raju. How serious is the problem that the Earth is facing? Remember, our topic says protecting our planet. How serious is this problem? The problem of climate change, the problem of heat wave, the problem of temperature change. How serious is these problems? Can you contextualize it for us? You've already told us about what is happening in India. Let's get to know how serious the problem is.
Yeah, actually, the climate change is increasing rapidly, and also now the Earth is facing very serious climate change activities. 1 degree centigrade is increasing nowadays, which is melting the glaciers and increase the sea level and depleting the lands. So this is very drastically increasing temperature in last decade. So it is a decade of taking action to reduce the climate change activities. If we are going to left like this, so the sea level will be increased and we will lose the coastal regions and also lost the biodiversity which is presenting nearby uh, and like this. So we need to take a action to reduce the climate change activities by this fossil fuel burning or this open biomass burning or plastic, single-use plastic. This type of activities we need to stop immediately to reduce the increase in the temperature.
All right, so David, tell us how serious the problem is.
How serious is it is increasing drastically. The temperature of atmosphere is increasing. 1 degree centigrade is increasing means it will raises the sea level up to 1 meter. So 1 meter is the rising means then you will know the seriousness of the global temperature increasing.
Okay, you work with the Ministry of Earth Sciences in India. What is the ministry doing to fight climate change?
Actually, ministry is look after for the India Meteorological Department and National Center for Coastal Research, CMLRE, Coastal for Marine Living Resource. So and some of the institutes. So these institutes are looking for different activities. So Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology is also there. So this ministry is looking the activities what they are doing in these institutes. So these institutes are continuously monitoring the activities of the rising temperature and modeling different models, weather research forecast models are using to identify the how much temperature is increasing from year to year.
Thank you so much. I'll come to you, Joshua. How serious is the problem? You've been in Nigeria and you are in Jamaica. So you could understand. Can you make us understand how serious this problem is? Because so many people don't even believe in climate change.
Okay. Hello again, everyone. Thank you for another opportunity to speak. Yes, the problem of climate change is a very serious problem. One thing we need to know is this: there's only one planet, which is I mean, we have only one planet, which is Earth. And Earth at present is the only planet that is able to sustain life. Though we are trying to terraform Mars and go live there someday, but that is something that we may achieve in the future. But at present, Earth is our only home. So climate change, global warming, and all of it related are posing a serious problem on our planet. It is a very serious problem. We just keep ignoring it. We just keep, taking it like, like something that is negligible. But no, it is very serious. Another thing we also need to understand about the problem of climate change is that it has what we call a ripple effect. Just like on a body of water, when you throw a stone on the water, on a body of water, you see what we call ripples. Climate change have ripple effect. It is causing insecurity. It is causing food scarcity. Lands are becoming too dry for agricultural purposes. Plants are not growing well, and we are experiencing some areas are experiencing emergence of diseases that are coming up. And then it is affecting so many other aspects again. People are becoming more poorer because the price of food are going higher, so they cannot afford it, and a lot of problems it is causing all around the world. And no country is isolated from this problem. Everyone is impacted. Everyone would feel the impact because we cannot, at present, based on how we are in the world, once we are only this particular place, it's just us first. It is affecting everyone. We cannot alienate ourselves from the problems of climate change. But then we can make efforts to mitigate these problems. We can make efforts to reduce our carbon footprint on the planet. But at present, it is a big problem. So we need to face it.
Okay, thank you so much. Tell us about the role of engagement, especially with young people, and how we can solve the problem of climate change and protect our climate. Yeah, tell us about the role of young people, community action. I know you heard the question. Go ahead.
Young people have an active role because here in Nigeria, I think Africa has a high percentage of young people. In Nigeria, we have about 70% of young people in Nigeria. So young people have an active role to play in this. And this is very, very much evident because I know a lot of young people in this space who are taking actions. Young people like me, young people like Lorita Boniface, Aliu Sadiq, and of course Joshua. I have had the privilege of working with someone like Joshua with EcoCycle Development Foundation. So we leverage partnership, young people coming together, because if you look at the theme of the Earth Day for 2025 is our power, our planet. That is to tell you that there is power in the unity of people, especially young people coming together to take action against climate change, because climate change is a very, very serious issue. Just like Joshua rightly said, it's already causing lots of insecurity issues. Like for me, coming from a place in northern Nigeria, I think that was like 10 years ago, when Boko Haram, the insurgency of Boko Haram, what brought that is it all boils down to climate change, because people are trying to fight over the limited resources, the limited land that is able to provide food and other natural resources. So it is a serious issue. So young people coming together to champion climate action is one of the ways that we can fight climate change, because people have the power, and who has the power? Young people. So we see young people taking actions in recycling of waste management. We see young people championing action around wash with plastics, making building a toilet from plastics. We've seen that from EcoCycle. We've also seen what's it called? A brick, like a block made from recycled polythene bags that are melted. I was part of a project that happened like 2 years ago in a school where we visited, and we made some bricks from such toilets, from such recycled polythene bags. So these are young people taking action, and so many young people like Rita, creating vending machines where you recycle a plastic bottle, and you get paid, or you get a reward for recycling a plastic bottle. And people like Auntie Joke, I can't remember her full name, but she's someone that has been going far because she's recycling pure water sachet bag and packs to make school bags and other recyclable materials. And also we have card game by EcoCycle, and then The Adventures of Zero and Cove by me, my Kwaji Environmental Education Foundation, where we visit young people in schools, nursery, primary, secondary schools, sometimes even universities and other tertiary institutions, where we play documentaries, we show them the kind of actions that young people are taking against climate change, like planting trees, advocacy. We've had a lot of climate clock march, a lot of marches calling for action from leaders, where we have the climate clock counting to number of years that we have left to take action, because we believe that this generation is the only generation that has the ability, the capacity to take action. Because if you are waiting for a future generation to come, we might likely endanger their possibility. So there might not be a future. So yeah, a lot of young people are taking action already. I can tell you that even if it looks very little, the effort looks very little, but the agenda is moving. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. David, I come to you. In Sierra Leone, you are the Executive Director of the Civil Society Advocacy Network. What is the role of advocacy in getting government to do some of these things, talking about policies and talking about even regulations and enforcement?
So in a country like Sierra Leone that is prone, remember the 2014 Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report stated Sierra Leone as the third vulnerable country behind Bangladesh and Guinea-Bissau. So advocacy has been a critical one. Some of us, my organization was part of the Environmental Protection Agency that went around this country to engage communities that we know they are prone to climate change effect. So advocacy is critical. Engaging stakeholders, engaging duty bearers, and enforcement of the law. There are so many policies. Yeah, as a country, we are part of so many policies. We have been part of the development of so many policies, and the policies are there. But as you rightly mentioned, the critical challenge we have is enforcement of those policies. Yeah, because those also that make the policies are also the ones that break those laws that we put. So who will enforce the law is the challenge. But however, as civil society, we are always at their back, reminding them that this is what we said and this is what we should not do. How are you adhering? So that is why, if you remember, after some 2 years back, the president visited one of the protected area in the western area, which we call the Western Area Protected Forest. Yeah, this is the forest that hosts the Guma Dam that supply water in Freetown. And it is been yearly, by every year it has been deforested. Yeah, and they have been shifting the boundary. When this minister comes, they will say, this is the boundary, nobody should jump after this one. After that minister go, anyone that comes, they will. So, but we have been playing our role. At every level, whether we are invited or not, we make sure that we are where they are, so that we bring the issues to them to know that you are duty bearers. You have your roles and responsibility. And also us as civil society, we have our role and responsibility in telling you the laws and policies that you develop, how are you implementing them? Yeah, both at community level, at national level, and at district level, we are engaging. So enforcement of policy is a challenge, but we have policies and we are still ensuring that. For instance, we have the National Determined Contributions, the NDCs. In the NDCs, these are very beautiful documents that have been developed by nationals, by government, as a result of the Paris Agreement. Yeah. So with that document, we always tell them, government, you have the mitigation part. Communities and civil society have the adaptation roles. So how are we play our respective roles? But for us as civil society, I believe even in Nigeria and the other countries, the challenge we have now is the issue of funding. Financing is a challenge because some of these donor partners are always working with the government. The fundings that are available at international level from the multilateral organizations, they support government. It is very difficult for civil society to be supported, except when we go around them. But for even you to get that funding, it's a challenge. So to continue the advocacy, we need to have access to resources, and we need to engage the international agencies, the multilateral organizations, should ensure that they start engagement at community level and bring on board community-based organizations if we want to address the effect of climate change in terms of policy adherence.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.